Okay, I will just record it. Okay.
Okay.
Later I will share the link for the recording. Okay. And the last materials. Materials include the slides. So what and media is also as well. But if you have another media other than the slide, then you can perform it in the classroom. Assessment or evaluation is a way that you have to determine or to understand the level of your student comprehension. Jadi, when you teach, you have to I know everyone can do that, but the problem is this is the most important part. If you teach in English, you give an instruction in English, your assessment level should be in English. But if you teach in bahasa, your assessment in English, it will be inappropriate one. Ini yang sering terjadi. Soalnya itu nanti ada semi bahasa Inggrisnya, padahal di kelas ketika menjelaskan atau memberi instruksi itu tidak ada bahasa Inggrisnya sama sekali. Or the source is in English. Ya, itu nggak cocok, nggak matching. But if you kind of use a mixed languages, misal nih, kalian menjelaskan, and in the end, you make a kind of assessment and evaluation in bilingual, that will be a best. Jadi nggak apa-apa. So, harus konsisten mulai dari pengajaran sampai dengan, if you want to use the English as your classroom language, it means your assessment level you should make it in English as well. Jadi nggak boleh nanti assessment-nya itu dalam bentuk bahasa yang lain. So this is a generally. This is a classroom delivery, how to perform in the class. First, try to use a simple English. I'm not going to use a very complicated words to explain my topic or my ideas here. What I use is a simple language, but I'm sure that you all understand everything that I say. Jadi itu yang penting. Jangan berusaha menggunakan bahasa Inggris yang sophisticated atau yang daki-daki, tapi mari ngono mahasiswane gak mudeng. Ya. Termasuk nanti Bapak Dewi kalau menjelaskan ya gak mudeng apa aja itu gambarnya. Tiwas nanti nulis dengan bahasa yang wah kelihatannya akademik style sekali, tapi begitu dijelaskan bulat. No, that's a mistake, a big mistake. Yeah. Second, explain the slide using a common expression. Nah, kalau misalnya mempersiapkan slide, you have to use a very common expression. Do not try to put a kind of another scientific languages if you believe that your student doesn't understand about it. Jadi lebih baik kalian Bapak Ibu menjelaskannya dengan bahasa yang atau ekspresi kata-kata yang mahasiswa itu lebih gampang mengenalnya, so they have a more better comprehension or understanding. Use gesture, action, movement, facial expression. Ini bisa dilakukan lebih kelihatan ketika offline class. Karena di online class, you only can do that with the facial expression and a little bit hand movement. Ya. Misalnya nih, okay, Pak Helmi. So, have you tried to speak English in your classroom?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, how do you feel?
Just say greeting.
Okay, no farewell?
No, no farewell.
Ini dibuka tak ditutup ini bapaknya. So, this is a little bit example how to use a gestures, action, and a little bit a movement as well as the facial expression. But because we do it online, it will be limited. Nah, seperti itu. Tapi kalau misalnya itu bisa dilakukannya ke kelas offline, itu misalnya nih Bapak jalan ke dekat siswanya, you can ask them. Or you can just point one of the students. That it will be more give what we call that. Do not just like teaching, stand up in front of the students and do nothing. It will be less interesting. Nah, itu nggak boleh sebenarnya. Nggak salah, tapi kurang tepat kalau dalam bahasa. Next, all students' comprehension. Every time you explain about something, you may ask the student whether they understand or not. Nah, kalau misalnya dijelaskan bahasa Inggris pertama, they understand, you don't need to re-explain it. Nah, yang ini bisa di-skip. Tapi kalau mereka tidak paham alias gak ngeh, bisa di-re-explain dengan bahasa yang lain. Ya. Jadi misalnya nih, Mr. Boy jelasin slide yang bagus dengan bahasa Inggris. You must ask the students. Mereka paham gak sih yang dijelaskan? Atau mereka itu cuma gini tok? Nah, selama 1 jam gini tok lah ya susah. So you have to ask the student comprehension. If they comprehend, then you can skip to re-explain. You can directly ask question to check or to evaluate the level of the comprehension. Ya, jadi boleh langsung ngasih tugas atau misalnya untuk nggak ngasih tugas, hanya untuk menanyakan aja boleh. Dengan level pertanyaan yang lebih tinggi untuk melihat sejauh mana sih mereka comprehend. Tapi, but if they do not understand or still confused with your previous explanation, then you can re-explain it using another kind of language which be more easier for them to understand. Boleh nanti di mix yang di re-explanation itu antara bahasa dan English. Lebih banyak bahasa Indonesia-nya dari bahasa Inggris, that's also fine. After that, you check again. From here, so this is actually the like the diagram for the graph for doing the classroom communication. You must give the simple instruction. You must interact with your students and do kind of spontaneous language. Jadi boleh dicampur-campur bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Inggris, ada campuran bahasa sedikit Madura, mungkin ada bahasa yang lain, that's okay. And you must evaluate during the discussion. So that's all. Okay, actually I only give you 4 slides and I already did about 20 minutes to explain. Ya kan? Sampai sini ada yang mau ditanyakan?
Oke, Mas Dwi.
Gak apa-apa pakai bahasa Indonesia dulu.
I have never to using original slide from seorang penulis luar, original slide. So I use slide with 100% English. I use the slide for my class and akuntansi management. Full English I use for semester full from this slide. But meski slide-nya using English, but I still use bahasa to menjelaskan ke mereka, to explain, to but I still tetap pakai dikit-dikit bahasa Inggris di dalamnya. Sebenarnya tujuan saya kok malah bahasa Indonesia. Sebenarnya tujuannya tuh membiasakan mereka untuk mengenal bahasa Inggris lebih jauh, sama-sama belajar. Me and them sama-sama belajar bahasa Inggris. But the problem is at the end of semester before the final exam, before the final exam, mereka minta PPT versi bahasa. Because they told that they can understand with my slide that I share to them.
Okay. So
Okay.
in the end of the
So,
class, you keep
so
them with bahasa.
no, no.
Okay.
But I just warning to them that saya akan menjelaskan. I will explain this materi with bahasa, so they can not. Mereka bisa mencatat selama saya menjelaskan dengan bahasa itu apa maksudnya. Seperti itu. Gimana? Kalau model seperti itu gimana?
Is it okay? Something like this one? Okay.
Ini kan kebalikan dari Miss Twin jelaskan tadi, bahwa kebalikannya biasanya nggak pakai bahasa Inggris. In final exam we use English. Gitu ya. So mahasiswa nggak tahu apa maksudnya karena selama mengajar nggak pakai bahasa Inggris. Yang pengalaman saya kebalikannya.
Yeah. But the question, your evaluation is English or bahasa?
Bahasa.
That's the problem. Because your evaluation is in bahasa, where you met the materials in English, the gap of understanding will be huge. The language delivery in the class should be mixed between English and bahasa. That's okay, because it gives the students appropriate information. Bahasa digunakan, as I told you, bahasa digunakan jika mahasiswanya itu ada bagian yang tidak jelas. If we talk about this, in which level? In this one, to re-explain. Re-explain ini bisa dijelaskan dengan bahasa Indonesia. So, but the consistency between your materials, your explanation, and your evaluation harus jalan.
Oke.
Kalau misalnya materi sumber resource-nya semua full English, berarti assessment-nya juga harus sama. Karena apa? Sometimes students, if they already read some kind of materials in English, their understanding will lead to them. Jadi ketika mereka baca-baca buku itu, mereka juga nanti, misalnya mereka mengartikan sendiri menggunakan Google Translate atau apa, what they understand will be the language delivery. Jadi language yang digunakan, yang mereka pelajari. But if you ask them to comprehend, that's the next level. Apalagi kalau itu sudah cross language ya, soalnya nanti di bahasa Indonesia, sedangkan ininya lah itu sudah cross language namanya.
Oke.
Kalau cross language itu need a higher comprehension. Ya.
Okay, but they have the book with bahasa, Miss Twin. Same book with my slide that I shared to them.
Same.
But bahasa version, not English version.
Yes, because that's the kind of mindset. Jadi di dalam pemahaman siswa, psychologically, they think that the materials will be tested and not from the books, but pointed from your slide.
Okay.
Jadi mereka harapannya itu mereka paham slide-nya. Berhubung karena slide-nya bahasa Inggris, sedangkan soalnya bahasa Indonesia, mereka takut ada di the missing gap. So that's
Okay, thanks, Miss Twin.
You're welcome. Okay, this is a general one. Now I will show you the example of materials. This is a general materials talking about that I can use to teach entrepreneurship. Mungkin di sini materinya masih materi ada hubungannya sama manajemen sama ekonomi ya. Okay. So the title I only use this one, entrepreneurship, what and how you may end up to be. This is actually in this part I can do a greetings. You can greet your students and you can do kind of brainstorming, like for example, asking the students or the audience whether what they know about the entrepreneurship. Okay, you may say ask like this. Okay, what is entrepreneurship? What do you have in your mind of entrepreneurship? You can also ask them, do you know shopkeeper, not shopkeeper, a seller in the market, in traditional market, do you think they are entrepreneurship? Do you think they are entrepreneurs? Another one, do you know the one who sells fruits on side of the road, or for example in the square? Do you think they are entrepreneur or do entrepreneurship? Nah, itu adalah cara merefresh mereka dari bagian slide pertama. I only give a 10 slide here. And then next, I give an example like this. What is entrepreneurship? There are many definitions of the entrepreneurship. According to Zimmers and Score, entrepreneurs are the people who are able to create new business, and the people who are usually directly exposed to risk are able to identify them in success. Kenapa ini kok berbentuknya seperti kalimat panjang seperti ini? Because it is a quotation. Jadi saya bisa makainya satu seperti ini. And I can explain from English, here is bahasa. Jadi menurut Zimmers dan Scarborough, entrepreneur itu adalah orang yang mampu create a new business, and those orang-orang yang biasanya or selalu exposed to risk. Nah, caranya seperti ini. Jadi ada beberapa bahasa yang sebenarnya itu penting, saya tetap strengthen-nya dalam bahasa Inggris. Exposed to risk, dihadapkan dengan resiko, and can identify. It means tahu resikonya itu apa. So that's the first example how to explain. This is in English, but you can explain that in bahasa, but there is a mix between bahasa and English. You can mention it all, or you just pointed some of them. Next. So, entrepreneur is started from the Schumpeter. It's an idea started from the 1945. And we talk about the idea of the entrepreneurship. It's a start from the creation of new product, a new method, opening, creating a new source, and new organization. Why? Why? That's also kind of opening. Why they have to create a new product? What's the difference? What's that? You can explain it. Bisa digabung dengan cara melihat sesuatu yang ada di sekitar mereka. And this one, for example, you may ask about. This is the characteristic of entrepreneurship. They are having the ability to take a risk, harus siap menghadapi resiko, have a head or visionary or a vision, and must have a leadership spirit. Nggak boleh loyo. Jadi boleh penjelasannya, you can mix it like this one. Have an open-minded, nggak boleh gondoan. You can explain it using some words that they may appropriate. So open mind, it means they have a broader things. Bahasa seringnya nggak boleh gondoan. Jadi nggak boleh mutung. You can use another one that more appropriate for your students, common language for them. They have a strong will and high spirit. Nggak boleh. Entrepreneur cannot just directly give up or easily give up. Nggak boleh gampang nyerah. Once you make a failure, keep going. This is also another explanation you can mix between bahasa and English. And why entrepreneurship is important, you can also explain it. And this place, it helps to identify the source of this idea. And when we talk about the entrepreneurship, you can explain this about this one. It's a little bit too much for like 30-minute explanation, but if you do in the classroom, it will be more than enough. Karena kan butuh sekitar 1 jam penjelasan. Kalau sekarang praktek kan nggak perlu, jadi 4 atau 5 saja sudah cukup. You can also use this one. How to create the entrepreneur intention. First, there is entrepreneur knowledge. Without this knowledge, nobody can create an intention to be an entrepreneur. This knowledge can form from many sources, can be shaped by the many sources. For example, from the environment. You shouldn't see their parents do some business, have a kind of mindset of this. Of course, some of them will have a touch of a business unconsciously. Contohnya gini, kalau misalnya bapak ibunya, neneknya, saudaranya semua jadi pedagang, kira-kira siswa tersebut tahu nggak tentang dagang? At least about 10% they understand. The willing is another case, but information they already have it. Nah, caranya seperti itu. That's the example how to explain. And how the factor influencing. You can just make it like this one. Actually, this is also, there's a big explanation if you want to find it from here. Any questions? Kemarin? Setelah itu? Okay, thank you. This one. Jadi kalau dibilang 10 slide ini kalau dijelaskan, you will take about 60 minutes. Ini kenapa saya loncat-loncat, karena nanti kalau saya jelaskan sendiri jadi panjang. Padahal saya mau minta satu contoh dari Bapak Ibu untuk share slide-nya. Kita coba. Do you have any question sampai sini?
Mas Twin.
Mr. Boy, yes.
Yeah. I'm always have a question in this class because I will improve my English. So
Sure.
yeah, so I must have a question
Okay,
to
that's great.
ask to you.
Okay, what is it?
Yeah. At this time, I will ask to you about the problem in my class because mata kuliah. What I can say mata kuliah in English?
Subjects. You can say subject, course, bisa
Okay.
course. Jadi mau pendeknya bisa pakai subjek, kalau mau agak panjang bisa subject course.
Okay.
Mau ganti course-nya juga nggak apa-apa.
Okay, thanks. My subject, the problem is my subject is about a number, like mathematics. There are financial management, management accounting, cost accounting, like that. So the problem is I can make my slide simple like Miss Twin tampilkan tadi, because many number, many rumus di dalamnya.
Actually, when you put the formula, you can make it into formula. Itu kan tadi kalau saya dibikin untuk grafnya. Grafnya bisa diganti dengan formula-formula, nggak apa-apa. But only mention the formula. The explanation is given by you. Boleh nanti dikasih misalnya kalau ada lambang alfa itu perwakilan apa, itu boleh dituliskan. You may do that, but other informations you have to say. Jadi cara penjelasannya itu yang tepat adalah hanya formulanya saja yang ditampilkan, ada dengan keterangan-keterangan sedikit, tetapi penjelasan, the description, explanation, and everything, it must be on your hand. Jadi ketika Mr. Boy itu mau di mix English, bahasa, dan lain sebagainya, dan ketika tesnya nanti juga mix, ada bahasa dan English, the student comprehension will be more easier. And do not try to adopt, ya. Adopt itu berarti 100%. Full materials from English. You have to adjust them into your student's level. Jadi nggak boleh langsung tiba-tiba materi PPT asli 100% diambil, itu nggak boleh. Karena pas student levelnya kan beda.
Oke.
Ya, itu juga salah satu kesalahan dalam preparing slide. Jadi nggak apa-apa pakai materi kayak tadi saya bikin contoh slide itu ada beberapa yang saya bisa diambil dari bukunya siapa atau misalnya penelitiannya siapa, but I only give kind of clue. Jadi kalau mereka mau, you can check that. That's the source. Explanation-nya Mr. Boy harus. Jadi kalau meskipun itu angka dan lain-lain, selama itu rumus, itu bisa. Because I teach for the mathematics, they also same. Matematika juga formula-formula.
Yeah.
Is it clear enough, Mr. Boy?
Okay. Maybe in the next class, Mas Twin can memberikan contoh slide with same problem with me.
Okay, I will.
Slide. Yeah,
okay.
slide with.
I will share the example of slide. Yeah, I will share the sample of slide with mathematical formulas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Helmi, Mr. Will, well done. Okay, Mr. Samsuki, Mrs. Triana or Miss Triana, Miss Miftah, and Miss Aprilia. Have any questions? Or probably comments. If not, after that I will ask any one of you yang sudah prepare satu slide untuk share. Dicoba. Okay, Mr. Helmi, you may.
Just one slide.
One slide. Just one slide.
It's okay. Nah, ini pakai slide 21. Nah, 21 slide. Is it too much? Tergantung. Kalau misalnya kelas perkuliahannya itu 3 jam, bisa. Tapi kalau kelasnya itu cuma 1 jam, it will be too much. Okay. Can you start it from the very beginning, Mr. Helmi?
It's just 10 slide.
Okay. Human capital management. Okay. Okay, this is a contract, ya?
Yes. The contract for the course.
Okay.
And
then
this slide is from is for introducing about human capital management.
Okay.
How the evolution human capital management from the human resource management.
Okay, from human resource to human capital.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Di sini atas sudah bagus Pak Helmi, tapi di bawahnya. Ini perlu bisa diganti pakai bahasa Inggris. Tinggal diganti bahasa Inggris saja, karena 2 slide atas sudah bahasa Inggris. Penjelasannya nanti yang Mr. Helmi baru ada penekanan bahasa Inggris. Pemimpin dalam perusahaan, like the second pointer, pemimpin dalam perusahaan organisasi dalam menyelesaikan. Nah, is it important? If it is not important, do not put it in the point. But you can just explain it directly. Jadi ini catatan Mr. Helmi untuk langsung dijelaskan secara oral, tetapi tidak dalam bentuk pointer. Yeah. But if it is important, then okay to put it in the pointer. Jadi harus diputuskan mana yang penting, yaitu yang harus dicontohkan dalam PPT. Sedangkan kalau yang penjelasan lain itu harus diomongkan secara oral atau describe. Another thing, this is a very good also to test or to engage your student. Jadi supaya mahasiswanya itu dengerin. Karena kalau terlalu banyak di PPT-nya, nanti yang mereka bacanya dari PPT, mereka nggak dengerin penjelasan Mr. Helmi.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Helmi is
Thank you, Miss.
PIC for this activity, Miss Queen.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
So all about
Hopefully,
information with Mr. Helmi.
okay, sure. I will not forget to inform other colleague if they have problems, and there will be. They need to inform it to Mr.
Okay.
Who knows that after this you want to practice more. Nanti kalau misalnya sudah biasa di kelas, nanti mungkin suatu saat belajar lagi kelas yang lain seperti bagaimana cara menulis yang benar atau mempersiapkan materi yang benar and so on. Because that's also the important. Whatever it is, mata pelajaran atau mata kuliah apapun yang digunakan, the important how to present it. Itu yang penting sebenarnya. Okay. Thank you very much for today. I will see you next time. And have a nice day. Bye-bye. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye lagi.
Good day.
Good day.
apa-apa.
Ya boleh.
Good day.
Nggak apa-apa. Good day cappuccino, Bapak. Yes. Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Miss. See you next time.
Yeah.